Hey guys, Checkers here from Climax Combo once again, bringing you guys another leaks of the week. Uh, this week we got a lot of Terraformar leaks, like 5 per day. It's a ton, and there's just a few Milky Homes, but there's we got about one more week after this, and then they come out. So hope you guys are excited. I definitely am. These cards are pretty interesting. This week definitely has a lot of really cool cards. Oops. Okay. So first off, starting, we got Grab Guy. When this card is played from your hand to your stage until the end of the turn, this card gains 2k power, and all of your characters gain +1 soul. When this card declares a front attack and all your characters are of modified trait, this card gains +X power, where X is the soul of this card multiplied by 1k. And finally, when this card declares an attack with the flare trigger, all your characters gain +3k power until the end of the turn. So this level 3, and with the rest of the cards in this day, all just go ham with the soul. It's soul rush. It's crazy. Um, all your characters gain +1 soul. That's insane. And if you play this 1k one, that's 2 soul for everyone. So let's say you use this effect that he has 3 soul. And that means he gets +3k power, hitting 12-5. If he has the 1k one, then he has another soul, so it's 13-5 plus the 1k one, 14-5. So this guy is all about just getting meaty and just trying to do a ton of damage per hit, just a burst of damage. It's pretty interesting. These cards are pretty interesting. I don't see it working that much because you generally don't want to hit too hard with soul at level 3, because if your opponent's compressed, then they're most likely going to cancel, which means you're not going to get anything done because they're just going to cancel all your hits, especially if all your characters get +1 soul, possibly +2 soul. So it's like, I don't think it's going to work very well. It's definitely a cool idea because like as you'll see later on, like the soul gets pretty crazy, but practically the practicality of it doesn't seem very high. And so yeah, next up we got the 1/1 Alexander, 6k. When this card declares a front attack, all your other characters and all of your characters are modified. This card gains +X power, where X is the soul of the character times 1k, and hand encore. So like with the other one, the idea is to just pump up your soul, so you're doing a bunch of damage, and then he gets extra power. So if he has default, he has 1 soul, so he's gonna be 7k on attacking. 1k one plus some soul for another one. It just increases the damage, the attack. So you're definitely gonna kill stuff. You're definitely gonna hit really hard, but like usual, pumping by soul, like increasing someone's soul, isn't all that useful sometimes. Like early on it's cool because you can smack them up quickly, but later on it gets harder. So soul rush is a thing. Like it does work sometimes because you can like rush your opponent to level 3 and they don't really have time to compress, so your hits tend to go through more often later on. But yeah, the idea here is cool, but I don't think it's gonna work out too well. And it's just nothing impressive for a 1-on-1. Just normally it's 7k with hand anchor. It's whatever. Next up, this 002k. When this card declares an attack, choose one of your other characters. It gains power times X. X is the number of their soul times 1k. So you know, just on attack, power up something. These cards aren't really that good normally, anyways. Like having a card just for the sake of power isn't very important most of the time. So this card's not that good. It does work well with the whole soul mechanic, because if other things have more soul, then you're giving a lot more power, and it scales pretty hard, pretty exponentially, the more soul you have. So it's cool, but for these cards, but I don't think, you know, this card is just not useful. Next up, 2-1 Ivan. During your own turn, all of your other characters gain +X, where X is the level times times of that character multiplied by 500, and discard one member of Annex 1 Elena, which is this chick, from your hand to the waiting room. Place this card to rest. All your characters gain +1 soul until the end of the turn. So a standard level multiplier, which is cool. The other effect is definitely only useful if you're running all these soul cards. So you just discard a card to give all your characters more soul, which in turn means more power because of all the characters that do get boosts from their soul. So it's, I mean, this assist definitely works for what this combination of cards is trying to work with. So yeah, if you want to try this out, you definitely have to run like all these cards. So it's good for the idea, the soul rush thing, but if you're not doing it, then there's no point in running it. There's better level multipliers in the set already. Next, the 00 member of Annex 1 Nina. During your own turn, your other characters in the middle border of your center stage gains 1k power, and pay 1, place this card to rest. Choose one of your modified characters that gains +1 soul till the end of the turn. So early on, a way to give something soul and give more power. Other effect is whatever. During your own turn, 1k to the center. Who really cares? And it's pay 1 rest to give someone a soul. It's kind of annoying. Just might as well just not run this and just play a 1k one if you really want to get that soul going, soul rush going early. But yeah, this card's not that good, even in this thing, in this soul rushy build. Yeah, I don't like this card. Next up, this 2-0 event. When you control no modified characters, you cannot play this card from hand. Choose one of your characters. It gains +4k power and +2 soul to the end of the turn. So essentially, since you basically get 1k power for every soul, it's +6k power to something, depending on who it is. And I mean, it's huge, and +2 soul is crazy for one character, but you know, it's just power and a lot of soul. Like, it's not that good. It doesn't work out too often, because your opponent's gonna just cancel it, and you're just gonna get over something, even though your cards are already getting pretty damn strong. So yeah, I don't think this event's very good, even for this kind of thing. You might as well just not run it, because it's just taking up space for something that it seems like the deck is already accomplishing easily enough. And alright, next up, Milky Holmes Leak 2-1 Cordelia, I don't know. Level multiplier in front, and pay 2 rest her, draw 1 card. So I don't know what late game assist Milky Holmes uses already, but this card seems pretty decent. It's level assists are good, and you get to plus. Her other effect just lets you plus, so it's nice to have. It's a low multiplier with a plus. There's nothing much else to say. It's a solid card, especially for a TD. So yeah, I don't know if there are better stuff in the set, but so far, yeah, it's a decent card. All right, next day we have this 00 Sheila, 1500 power. Pay 1, discard a card from hand to waiting room, and place this card into your memory. When this card is reversed in battle, you may pay the stated cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 modified character, show it to your opponent, and then add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Very good card. Practically, the whole deck's gonna be modified, so you can search out anything. It's green. Green is already pretty decent, so there's no downside to the color. And just like with most of these pay 1 discard send to memories, it's annoying because you can't really pay that cost during your turn, like during your main phase. Like if you want to pay out a climax or something, you can't, because you have to actually be reversed, and before this card can be reversed, it has to attack, which means um, you have to trigger. So I mean, it's not you can't pay out climaxes with this card. So that's the only real problem with these kind of searches. They're still really useful because it is a hand filter. It does send to memory, which compresses you by 1, and I mean you can search through for anything. So this card is still really good. It's just not as good as the standard pay 1 discard, but still very useful card for the set. Next up, 2/2 Marcos. For every 8500 power, 2 soul. For every marker underneath this card gains 4k power, and when this card declares an attack with the climax Anima Longing, which is this green free stock 1 soul, and you have another character with Alex in its name, you may choose one as bright as the sun Sheila, which is this searcher, from memory, and place it underneath this card face down to serve as a marker. So, if you get one off, then he's 12/5 base, which is really huge, actually, for level 2. You're probably already going to be running the Sheila, so you can probably get her effect off early on, enough to do this. The climax isn't that good. It's only a free stock 1 soul, which isn't that useful. And essentially all this is doing is giving you a big wall. So, to be honest, I don't think this card is very good. The climax combo is all it's there for is for power. It's pretty specific. You need an Alex on the field and a Sheila in the memory. So there are other climax combos that I would rather run, like the Akari one, the Komachi one. So to be honest, I don't think the climax combo does enough to merit running this card. And for level 2, you can use the Joseph, which is really useful because of the heal, because it can't be bounced and anti-changed, because it's pretty strong, and I don't know. You have to do a lot for this card to work. So I don't think it's worth running. So there's my 2 cents about that card. Next up, we have this crazy card, member of the Annex 1, Alex. 3500 power, he's red RR. All of your other modified characters gain plus 500 power, and Brainstorm, pay 1, overturn the top 4 cards of your deck. For every climax you hit, choose one of your opponent's cost 0 or lower center stage characters and send it to its owner's waiting room. So it's global 500 with the railgun Brainstorm, the popper, the gun, the railgun. That Brainstorm is already pretty crazy. I think it's pretty crazy. I hate playing against that Brainstorm because it's just insane. Like, you get to kill stuff. A Brainstorm that kills stuff. And it's spammable, which is, God, annoying. Spammable Brainstorm is really good, and this Brainstorm is really good. So, the reason this card's crazy, we all know, the Love Live Umi 1-0 is pretty good. We can all agree it's very good. It gives power, it's an assist, it gives 500 global, and having access to a Brainstorm is really useful. Hers is a plus Brainstorm, so that, it works well with the deck because they can just fill up their hand and play more cards. This one isn't. It's, a shooter, which makes more sense because it's cool. He shoots stuff, he throws baseballs, and kills things. I still think this card is really good. Being able to pop anything in the front row that's cost 0. 1-0s are very popular now, so being able to just kill a 1-0 is insane. Not having to have to get over it and stuff is just crazy. And I mean, you're brainstorming, so Brainstorm's always a good effect to have, and by using this card, you're most likely to use it as an assist. You're going to have it in the back row, so you're always going to have access to that Brainstorm. So, kill that last thing that you couldn't kill this turn. It's like, you don't have to reverse it to get rid of it. It's just insane. And this card, God, I can't wait. It's gonna be insane. Well, I'm not getting the set, but so I probably wouldn't like playing against this card. But yeah, I think this Alex is really good. And if you're running red, you're definitely gonna run this, cause yeah, really good, really good. this climax from earlier. This 1-0 Alex, heading for Mars. When this card is played from your hand to your stage, and you have another character with Marcos in its name, this card gains plus 2k power until the end of this turn, so it becomes 6/5. When the climax something we must do is on your climax border, this gains 1k power, and when it reverses an opponent in battle, you may place that character to the top of its owner's deck. So the climax is plus 2 soul. This card's not good. First of all, it needs a Marcos on stage, so it's conditional. 6/5. There are other 6/5 1-0s, and it's only the first turn you play it. So after that, it's done. More power. 7/5 with the climax, whatever. And top decking, you know, isn't that good of an effect, especially early on, like level 1. And plus 2 soul is bad climax, because Soul Rush isn't very good. But yeah, so I don't think this is good at all. I definitely don't think it's worth running. It sucks that it's an R too. Like, that's kind of annoying. And yeah, not good. Alright, next up, 0-0 Marcos. Damn, I keep rolling the R. 2/5. During the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may place the top card of your deck to your waiting room. If that card is a modified character, you may move this card to an empty border on the center stage. Really, really solid card. Already level 0 is just awesome, because runners are awesome. I personally think runners are like the best level 0 to have, because even though some of them are conditional like this, like modified, all your characters are modified, it's really gonna be easy to run. Like, the one time you don't, it's like, oh damn it, oh well, play one later. Like, it's not gonna happen enough to merit not using it. Like, runners, they generate you so much advantage, they stay alive, they get you stock, and this one is 2/5, so it's not even that weak. Like, other runners 2k, maybe 1500 if they really have, you know, another effect. Like actually, I don't know what the power of the Kotori one is, but 2/5, it's not even that weak. It can reverse some things. You can even 1k1 if you really want to get rid of something. It's just, runners are really good, and Terraformars has a runner, so very good, very solid level 0 right there. So definitely want to run these. And Marcos, some of these cards you need Marcos to get their effects off, so having a good Marcos card is always very welcome. So yeah, very, very good card for this league. Next up, we have 1-1 Marcos, 6500 power. When you have 2 or more other characters with Alex in their names, this card gains plus 500 power. Then this card cannot be put to reverse by the effect of your opponent's auto abilities. So it can't be suicided, which is very nice. It's kind of annoying that you need to have 2 Alex cards, but if you have 2 of the 1-0 Alexes, then it's easy enough. However, that might not always be the case, so you're gonna need another one. I don't know how many Alex cards there have been. There's this one. I don't remember any from before. I think that's it. There's more the next day, I believe, but there still aren't that many, so I think this effect's going to be really hard, and it's not even that big a deal. 7k, can't be suicided, so it's not that useful. And I think there are better 1-1s, or not better 1-1s, but the level 1s in the set are already pretty good, so you don't really need to run this card. Like, it's not going to do that much for you when you already have access to a lot of other good stuff. So I don't think this card's gonna be ran. And yeah, next up, Henriette in the office. This card gains the Bandit trait while on stage, so 3k with Bandit, Student Council, and Detective. I don't know if that's cool or not. Doesn't seem very useful. And I'm sure there are better cards, so this card is just whatever. It's slightly cooler than a vanilla because it gets a 3rd trait, and that's all I can say about that. Alright, the 18th, we got Chinese guy. 3/2 10k. He's a U level 3. The character directly opposite this card loses -1 soul. During this card's battle, your opponent cannot play any backup abilities from their hand, and during the start of your climax phase, send all your stock to your waiting room, and this card gains plus 3k power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So, basically 13k base at all times, which is pretty huge. -1 soul in front's pretty kind of a downside, kind of not in some situations, because it lets your opponent be more precise when attacking with, you know, higher soul stuff. Or, you know, it could prevent you from taking 1 more damage, but not really very good. And can't use backups. You're already pretty damn strong, so they probably can't back up anyways. But all in all, I don't think this card's very impressive, especially because a lot of the other level 3s are already really good. The Joseph, the Akari, the Komachi, the Adolf. It's very outclassed. Like, all this guy does is get beefy, and that's it, and just kill stuff. Which, you know, power doesn't win games most of the time. You don't need power to win games, is what Licious Kid always tells me. And it's very true. You don't need power to win games. You need the abilities. You need the end games, you know, the burns, the clocks, and you need, you know, survivability too. You need the healing. You need the early on, you know, come out at level 2, level 3s. You need all those kinds of things, and this card just doesn't do any of that. So it is only a U. So of course you can't really expect these kinds of cards to have those crazy abilities. Although the one Love Live U card, was it a U card or was it an R? I don't remember. I don't know. I won't bring that up because I don't know for sure. But definitely don't see this card being used. So, I mean, it's nice that there's a level 3 U, but yeah, not good. And it sucks if you happen to have a lot of stock and you have to do this. It hurts. It would hurt. But yeah, not good. Next up, just a normal 3k backup. Eva 2-1. The Thunder and Lightning of the 5th Squad Adolf. 500 power, level 0. R. When this card is played from your hand to stage, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a modified character, add it to your hand, then discard 1 card from your hand to your waiting room. And when this card is played from hand to stage, you can pay 1. If you do, choose a Grain of Thunderstorm from your waiting room and return it to your hand. That Grain of Thunderstorm is this card. 1/1 event counter. You cannot play this card from hand if you do not control a character with Adolf in its name. Choose one of your modified characters. It gains 3500 power and +1 soul until the end of the turn. It's annoying that this +1 soul is here, because I think that's why they had to give it another condition, because a 1/1/3/5 backup is normal event counter, but the fact that you have to have an Adolf gives it a little more oomph, which is only useful when you use it as an event on your turn, and even then, who cares about a +1 soul? Sucks that you have to have an Adolf, because I don't think there's a lot of Adolf cards. There's only been this level 0, this 2, the 3. Was there another one? I don't remember if there was a level 1 Adolf. I don't think there was. I could be wrong though. I'm too lazy to look. But yeah, I mean, it's cool that an event counter has like a bond, I guess. But I don't know. I don't see it being as useful as a normal bond for a different character. This card is cool. Like, the first effect's nice. Hand filter. I mean, it does a lot for what it is, but I don't think it's worth running the event counter, because it's too specific. Like, you're definitely not only gonna have Adolf cards, and you probably won't have an Adolf sometimes, and you won't be able to play this counter when you might need it. So yeah, if you're running like all the Adolf cards, then sure, go ahead, like, definitely. But I don't see that happening in these decks. There's just too many good cards everywhere else to like center the focus on Adolf. So yeah, there's that. that's why I don't think it's that good. Next up, 2-1 off. Place the top card of your deck to your clock. When this card declares an attack with the climax Zerzitarol, which is this winch trigger, on the climax border, you may pay the stated cost. If you do, search your deck for up to one modified character, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand. Thereafter, shuffle your deck, and until the end of the turn, this card gains plus 2k power, and your opponent cannot activate any Encore abilities, which includes pay 3 Encore that all cards have. Alright, so you break even with the searching, because you're playing the climax, it's a minus, then you're searching, so it breaks even. So essentially you're clocking yourself for all the extra stuff on top of this search, which is just power and Encore. Anti-Encore isn't that useful, because not a lot of cards have that at this point in this game, you have to clock yourself, which is scary at level 2, because unless you're doing it early on at level 2, it's definitely not worth clocking yourself, because you're just rushing yourself to death, which makes sense for the card, because if you guys know about the anime. But yeah, it's not very impressive, honestly. Like, there are other climaxes that you could run instead of this card, because this climax combo isn't doing much for you. And at level 2 you probably want to play some other cards than this guy. So I don't think this is good. These 8 off cards are good. That's it for that day. Moving on. 2-1 Sheila. Oh, here are the other Alex and Marcos cards and Sheila card. 2-1, 6k. All your modified characters gain plus 1k power. And you can place this card to rest. Choose one of your characters with Marcos, Alex, or Komachi in their names. It gains 1k power until the end of this turn. 1k globals, alright. You're only getting the most. You're getting the most out of this card if you are running the Marcos Alex cards, which aren't bad, and the Komachi cards aren't bad either. Like, the level 3 is really good, the level 1 combo is really good. So I don't see it being that bad of a choice, this card. I do think that, level multipliers are slightly better, because they give 500 more power to your level 3s, which is what you're really thinking about for these late game assists. The 1k power does boost all your little guys up higher, but it's not all that important. Getting your level 3s as high as possible is key, because to make it easier to defend against certain cards that need higher power to go off. But and you're definitely gonna want to run like Alex, I meant Akadi, Joseph, some other cards that aren't these 3 guys. So it's not gonna be useful for those characters. And so yeah, all in all, I think I'd rather choose a different card, like the Akadi 2-1 level multiplier. I think the second effect's pretty interesting. If you guys remember that card from like 2 weeks ago, I think that card's pretty interesting. So I'd probably choose a different late game assist than this. Next up, 1-0, Yanasegawa Yaiko. I don't remember her at all. When this card is played from your hand to your stage, your opponent may reveal his hand. If there are any climaxes among those cards, place this card to rest. Speaking from experience, I generally have a climax in my hand, not because I always want to. Usually you just draw too many, you can't get rid of them. Sometimes you can hold on to one if you have a combo, which SAO sometimes I do. So chances are your opponent will more than not have a climax in their hand, which means you're not gonna get this card right away. And it definitely sucks if you have to rest her in the back row, because there are assists in the set that you want to run. So the downside will go off often. So I don't think this card's gonna work out very well. 6-5 is really good number for a 1-0, but there are other cards that can hit pretty close to it, if not as high as this card. So I don't think this card is gonna be used. They're just better options, in my opinion. Alright, 1-0 Marcos. 1k backup. When you use this card's backup, choose one of your battling modified characters. It gains plus 1k power to the end of the turn. 2k costless. We all know that those backups are really good, because it's just 2k. Like it's an easy condition, so it's always going to be a 2k backup. And yeah, there's not much else to say about it. It's just a really solid costless backup. And this deck's probably definitely gonna run it because it has a lot of 1-0s. It has a costless backup, so it can store up a lot of stock for later on. So this is a very good card for the set. Next up, 2-1 Alex, 6500 power. When you have another character on the center stage with Marcos in its name, this card gains plus 3k power. And pay 1 when this card reverses a level 2 or greater character in battle. You may pay the stated cost. If you do, choose one character from your waiting room and return it to your hand. This card is really cool because of the second effect. It lets you plus for paying 1. That will be hard to get off unless you have a Marcos, because you do have to reverse a level 2 or higher. And generally your opponent's not going to have a level 2. Your opponent, well, most of the good sets can have a level 3 out early. Or, yeah, so if they're running a level 2 or level 3, they're going to have to be high power. So 9.5, you need the 9.5, and even then that's kind of weak. You want to get to 10k around, which you can get to with other cards, but even then, you still might not be strong enough. So this card's cool, but I think it's too hard to pull off, especially since you need a Marcos, and so far the only Marcos I would consider running that I've seen is the 0-0 runner, and you're not always going to have one of those, so you're not always going to be able to do this effect. So probably not going to want to run this 2-1 Alex. You have better options at level 2. That Joseph, man, you gotta run the Joseph. Next up, 0-0 Komachi, 3500 power. When this card is played from your hand to your stage, place the top 2 cards of your deck to your waiting room. If there are any climaxes among those cards, place this card to rest, and hand encore. Pretty good card. You might hit a climax, but I think more often you won't. So most of the time this card will be able to be used the first turn. 3500 power is a nice number to have, and it has hand encore. As far as I can tell, there hasn't really been a level 0 assist, so 3.5 is it's a decent number, but it's not good compared to 4k. A lot of things can hit 4k. So all in all, I don't think this card's going to be that useful. You already have the runner, and you have another card coming up the next day. So I don't think you're going to use this card. It's a decent card, but I think it's not one of the primary choices for the set. And 1-0 5500 vanilla. That's crazy. Alright. I'll let you guys look at it a bit more. Okay. Last day. 3-2 Michelle. What everyone's been waiting for. Oh my god. Double R. The other double R for blue. This card cannot declare a side attack. When this card is played onto your stage from your hand or via the effect of medication, which I will explain in a little bit, you may pay the stated cost. If you do, this card gains the following ability until the end of this turn. When this card reverses its opponent in battle, you may place the top card of your clock to your waiting room, so heal, and this ability can only activate it once per turn. When you use an act ability, all of your characters gain plus 2k power until the end of the turn. This event, 2/2 medication, you may discard a character with Michelle in its name from your hand to your waiting room. If you do, choose one member of Annex 1 Michelle from your waiting room and play it onto any border of your stage. So, it's the same event as the Akari, I believe, the pseudo change. It's slightly, like Lucius pointed out, it's slightly less cost to get it off than a climax phase change. So it's not bad by any means the way you change, but like before, the Joseph is the ideal level 3 to come out early, so you don't really need to consider that for this card, or I don't think it should be considered. If you don't want to run Joseph, then by all means, that change is good. However, this card I don't think is good. It can't side attack, which, you know, isn't that big of a deal. Sometimes you might want to side for that precise damage, but it's a downside, so it can be a better card, you know. The power is cool, I guess. It still haven't really convinced me of a very reliable way to use a startup. I mean, there is the Alex that you can, as long as you brainstorm every turn, you can pull off the startup effects that the Michelles have, but I don't know. There are other ways to do this, and power isn't as important as other things. And this Michelle only heals if she reverses something, or yeah, if she reverses something and the first turn she's played, and you have to pay 1. So that's a very pricey heal. Yeah, this Michelle's not good. It's not very good. I don't know why. I don't think it's very good. It doesn't do anything, really. It just gets beefy and gives you a pay 1 heal. Like, who cares about that? Like, the Joseph heals, and he comes out early, which this Michelle kind of does, except worse. The Akari, he heals, and he game ends, because he has the burn, and he can salvage something. And, like, other level 3s are better, and this one's not, like, it doesn't do much. So, I'm disappointed, because Michelle, you know, she's the girl in this series. Or, well, there's Sheila, but Michelle's, like, the main one. And it's just not good. Like, it's not very good. Damn. Next up, level 0, reliable leader Michelle. Pay 1 when this card is played from your hand to your stage. You may pay a stated cost. If you do, choose 1 medication from your waiting room and return it to your hand. Brainstorm, pay 1 over to the top 4 cards of your deck and place them into your waiting room. For every climax amongst them, search your deck for up to 1 modified character. Excuse me. Show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, discard 1 card from your hand to your waiting room, and then shuffle your deck. So, bond for the event. Event bonds are I mean, they're not that cool. Especially since I probably wouldn't use this event at all. And the brainstorm's nice. It's spammable. It's a hand filter. It's not the spammable brainstorm I would use. I would rather use the Alex. And since it's not a plus brainstorm, there's no point in having 2 spammable brainstorms, honestly. Because most of the time you're gonna use the Alex because you're gonna want him as an assist as well. And I mean, the hand filter's nice, but it's not that good because it's not really, I don't know. It lets you discard, but there are other ways to discard in the set, so it's not that important. So the brainstorm's decent, but I think there's better stuff than this card. Next up, Heading for Mars, Akari. This is the other level 0 I was talking about earlier when I was talking about the Komachi. When this card is played from your hand to your stage, choose one of your opponent's characters in stand and put it to rest. And when this card is reversed and the level of this card's battling opponent is 0 or lower, you may place that character to reverse. So, level 0 Suicider. Solid. The other effect is very interesting because it works with the other Akari cards that need you to rest something, or yeah, and the 1/1 Akari from last week, was it last week or was it the week before? I think it might have been the week before. I don't know. With this card, if you play him and you play this card, you rest someone, he hits 7k, and then two things attack before him, he hits 9k. So this card makes it so that he hits even harder during your turn, which is pretty cool. That 1/1 is, I think it's pretty decent. It's interesting. There are downsides to it, but this Akari is definitely a really useful card. He's a level 0 suicider, which is always welcome, and his other effect could come in handy depending on what other cards you use. So, you know, it's pretty solid level 0. And you know, speaking of another Akari that needs rest stuff, 1/0 4k Akari. For every one of your opponent's characters in rest, this card gains plus 500 power, and he has Clock Encore. So, if your opponent's entire field is full and is rested, then he gets plus 2/5 power, which is 6/5, and he has Clock Encore. So, in the ideal case, he's a very good card. 6/5 is already a great number to hit for level 1s, and it has Clock Encore. Clock Encore is really good. Most likely, like, even if your opponent has a full field, if they only attack with the front row, they don't rest their back row, it's only getting plus 1500 power, 55 Clock Encore. That's still pretty decent. You know, this level 0 does help out, you know, pumping him 500 more power if something on your opponent's back row isn't, or on your opponent's field isn't rested. So that's pretty useful. I don't know how consistent this will be. It seems kind of tough to get off, but if it's not, then this card is a really good card, a really good level 1 option. But even if this card isn't that good, there are still a lot of other options, like the 1/0 Akari that gives 500 for every other normally, or modification character you have. You know, the level 1 Suicider, Michelle, other level, the Komachi. There are a lot of options. So I wouldn't be bummed out if this doesn't work, but if it does, it's a really cool card. So yeah. And lastly, nothing exciting at all about this 1/1 7k vanilla Alice. So yeah, there's that. Damn, this is a long one. There's a lot of cards. Okay, so far I think Terraformars is going to be pretty dang good. There are a lot of good cards in the set, a lot of good level 3s, a lot of good level 1s. That Alex is crazy, like, is just insane. I think it's just insane. Like, Jesus, man, look at it, just pop, pop, pop. Level 0 is pretty solid. Suicider and a runner. What more do you need? You know, a lot of good utility cards. There's a plus Brainstorm, albeit not that good, but it's still a plus Brainstorm. You got a Searcher. You have your level 2 options. You got your Joseph. Oh, that Joseph is good too. There are some cards that are just pretty damn good. I could see someone having trouble making the deck because a lot of these cards do require their other members to be the most useful, and you know, some of the other members don't have good cards and some do. So I think the best ones will be the ones that don't require, you know, the members, like this guy. The Alex doesn't really do anything. He does what he's supposed to do all the time. The Joseph does what he's supposed to do as long as he has himself, which isn't a problem. So yeah, Terraformars is definitely looking really good. I kind of regret not buying it, but it's whatever. This set's really cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed me talking about these cards. As always, if you got different differing opinions. Maybe I missed something that you guys think is really good or really bad. Feel free to let me know in the comments as usual. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys next time.